Hiya VC, yeah, here we go, back again. Just relax. Compilation Classics #2. Yeah, the original video was shot by James Griffiths. Sorry, I'm miles away then. The original version of this was shot by James Griffiths, where he produced a sort of, there's a lovely set of memories connected to a range of compilations that he had. Now I recorded a response. I think Ellie recorded a response as well. I'm pretty sure, or at least she showed some compilations, which were a brilliant batch of records. Then Steve Whitty recorded a response, and he showed some fantastic compilations as well. And that's encouraged me to share some more of my compilations, because I doubt that these would ever get shown otherwise, because, well, if you do, I mean, I've got a whole host of records that were released in the 70s, 60s and 70s that I've yet to show from a collection back in the day. And I didn't do the Gimme 10s 1970s when Big Star 1000 was doing them. I might actually go back and revisit some of them, because I reckon I could put together some decent videos. But that's later. That's not imminent at all. However, Classic Comps #2 is. So here we go. I'm going to start off. So this ranges from music. I think the earliest is the mid-60s. The earliest music mid-60s, and the latest is sort of the mid-80s. I think that's the latest period of music that's covered here. So let's get going. Now, during the 80s, Castle Communications were a budget record label. I think they even started putting out new albums at one point. But they used to do this brilliant series called the Collector Series, which were greatest hits and collections of sort of 60s and 70s bands. And I got a few of them. But one of the ones I did get was this one, which is the Lovin Spoonful, the collection. This is smashing. Absolutely love this. Really good, jangly 60s pop. Excellent songwriting. Main songwriters are John B. Sebastian, and he writes sort of 99% of the stuff. But his partner in crime was Zal Janowski. I'm not sure about their respective roles in the band. There's not an awful lot of information on here. You've got quite a nice picture there with a little bit of a biog. I have read stuff, but I've probably forgotten more than I actually can remember, to be honest. But there's some brilliant songs on here. Things like Do You Believe in Magic? Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind? Younger Girl. Jug Band Music, I love that. Of course, Daydream, which is a massive hit. Things like Respoken is gorgeous. Coconut Grove, Nashville Cats, Summer in the City, another big hit they had. Younger Generation, just track after track of just gorgeous, mellow 60s jangle pop. And I reckon Teenage Fan Club must have listened to this stuff, as well as, you know, all the usual suspects. But they must be familiar with their back catalogue, because a lot of this reminded me of a lot of their stuff, especially stuff like songs from Northern Britain and the more acoustic-y stuff they did. Or do. They're not split up. They're still going. Anyway, so there we go. Lovin Spoonful. And now this is, I've got another one from the same series, the Collector Series. James showed a compilation of this band. I think it was a 1-disc compilation, but I'm sure he'll put me right. But I got this one, which is the Move, the collection. This is fantastic. Sort of not an out and out psych, but it's kind of psych pop psych. Don't know which way around you say that. But I watched a documentary on the BBC lately, Britannica Psychedelia, or whatever it's called, and where they sort of looked at that, and I think they were described as sort of more opportunistic, jumping sort of bandwagon jumpers rather than being true progenitors of the genre, which probably true, but who cares? When music is this good, who cares? I could copy to the cows come home and I'd still listen to it because this was fantastic. So, I mean, just saying, one you've got Night of Fear, I Can Hear the Grass Grow, Flowers in the Rain, Fire Brigade. Then you go on to Blackberry Way, Brontosaurus, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, which is a brilliant cover. Zing Went the Strings of My Heart, quite like that, a bit stupid. Hello Susie, Kilrose here. Here We Go Round the Lemon Tree. Just track after track of brilliance. And as near as I can work it out, I think The Move were actually number one when I was born with Blackberry Way. Well, I think it's that. It's either that or some Peter Sarsid rubbish. So I'm going for Blackberry Way. It's far cooler. So, fantastic. The Move. Oh, I didn't show you the gatefold, did I? There you go. A couple of pictures. No information whatsoever on them this time, but just a couple of pictures. There we go. Right. Going into the 70s now. I do have a collection of this next band. In fact, shall I just pull it out? No. Oh, I might do in a minute. But this was my introduction to this band, and this is Mott the Hoople. And this album is Rock and Roll Queen, and this is a compilation of their pre-Bowie stuff, sort of before he got involved with them. And there's some really good songs on here. This is really good. Things like Rock and Roll Queen, the track, which gave it its title. You know, I like the cover art. I really do like the cover art. It's kind of sort of 1920s via the 1970s, really, isn't it? I think it's great. The cover, a really good version of You Really Got Me. Thunderbuck Ram. Death May Be Your Santa Claus. Keep a Knockin', which is the Little Richard song. It's just a really good, really good early Mott compilation. And if you want an introduction to their pre-Bowie stuff, then you can't really go wrong with this, because this is great. And if you don't like this, then God help you. Right. Next two are sort of from the same stable. I think this is on Castle Communications as well, I think it is. But this is a reissue of an original combination. And this is The Small Faces, The Autumn Stone. This is an 83 issue of it. I think it's, yeah, it is, it's on Castle. Probably part of the same collection as the Collector Series, but they didn't have to make their own album, it was already done. I mean, this is great. Apparently this is a collection of early stuff, a few live tracks, and then a whole load of stuff that was meant to be their final album, but they never got around to recording it. Well, they recorded some of it, but they never got around to finishing it. So you've got some absolute stone cold classic stuff. I mean, All or Nothing, Red Balloon, Lazy Sunday, Sha La 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 Lee, The Universal, Here Comes the Night, Here Come the Nice, Tin Soldier, My Mind's Eye, Ichiku Park, Wham Bam Thank You Man. I mean, it's just fantastic. I mean, they were just a brilliant band. I don't have any other Small Faces on vinyl, which is probably something that I won't be able to rectify because their records are going for silly prices now. But I am glad I did pick this up in the 80s. And it was dead cheap. So I can't complain about that at all. There we go. And when Steve Marriott split the Faces up, the Small Faces up, he formed another band. And look what's coming up next. Humble Pie, Greatest Hits. Now this is a band that Steve Marriott formed with, and you can see who they are there. You've got Peter Frampton, who came from The Herd, obviously pre mega success days, with Jerry Shirley and Greg Ridley. And this is a compilation, I think it's of their first 2 albums, which is when they were more like folky country, not full out balls out rock. There are some really rocky moments on this, but it's more of a laid back kind of thing rather than that more heavy 70s stuff. So I think most of these were recorded sort of late 60s, maybe 69, 68, 69, maybe 70. So it's got their big hit Natural Born Woman on it. Alabama 69 is a great song. Great song. Every Mother's Son I really like. The Sad Bag of Shaky Jake is great. They do a really good cover of Heartbeat, actually. As Safe as Yesterday. So it's a really good introduction to the early stuff from Humble Pie. On the Immediate label. I don't think this is an original press. No, it's not an original pressing. No way. An original pressing, you can tell it just doesn't look it. But still on the Immediate label. Fantastic stuff. Right, put that away in a minute. Right. Oh, the next one. Oh, back to the 60s. Mid to early 60s. Or early to mid 60s. This is a great compilation. It's the Shangri-Las. Do you know, I don't think I've ever seen the Shangri-Las shown on VC. Maybe I'm just watching the wrong videos. Because they are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, everybody knows Leader of the Pack, but there's so much more to them than that. Train from Kansas City is an epic single. What is Love? Remember Walking in the Sand, past, present and future. My goodness me. Out in the Street, Sophisticated Boom Boom. The way they sounded was just magnificent. And if you're going to go for early 60s girl group compilation, the Shangri-Las. Magnificent. Right. And then sort of, I've tried to order these last few sort of with a little bit. I've tried to give it a bit of a flow to this video, I hope, not just a random selection of compilations. But a band who definitely took inspiration from the sound of the Shangri-Las was this punk band. The Ramones. It's the brothers. I bought this I knew I was going to go and see them at Reading Festival in 1988. And they were phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. No nonsense, heads down. Just brilliant. And yeah, I had tapes, but I really wanted something else. And this came out, I think it came out in 88. I can't see, I've got my glasses, hang on, let's see if I can find a date on this. I think it did actually come out in 88. So it's obviously released because they're obviously on tour. So it's not a gatefold, it's just a single one, but it's a proper size to accommodate two records. So you've got all their albums there, a little bit of information, and then more of their story. So actually, that's information on the tracks. Kind of a mini bio starts there, and then it actually continues on both sides of that sleeve, which is quite nice. I know I've read it over and over again. But when you got music this good, I mean, this really is, you can drop a needle on any track and they are a classic, to be honest. It goes from the earliest to about 87, I think. But you've got, Blitzkrieg Bop, Gina is a punk rocker, Beat on the Brat, Teenage Lobotomy, I Want to Be Sedated, Rockaway Beach, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend, Bop Till You Drop. We're a Happy Family, I think it's just a brilliant song. I just know all the lyrics to that. Well, I know all the lyrics to loads of these. Animal Boy, Psychotherapy. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, which is all about Reagan being a complete moron. Somebody Put Something in My Drink. We Want the Airways, Chinese Rock. Indian Giver. Ends on Rock and Roll High School, which was their Phil Spector moment. Fantastic. There we go. Ramones. And then sort of another punk band, and I don't think they're really given the kudos they should do. I know they weren't considered to be the equal, a lot, say, of the Clash or the Pistols or the Buzzcocks, but they produced some really good songs, and that's Generation X, which is, of course, lead singer Billy Idol. But this is great stuff. I mean, I think they did. I can hear really early Who sounds in this. The way that the songs are put together, I think they copped a lot off the Who, and especially as a soloing, they were obviously trying to recreate Anyhow, Anywhy, Anywhere, whatever it's called. I always get that title wrong, over and over again, which is not a bad thing, because that is just possibly one of the greatest singles ever recorded. I know I say that a lot, but I mean it. So you've got things like Valley of the Dolls, you've got 100 Punks, of course you've got King Rocker, Dancing With Myself, which was the Gen X version, not the Billy Idol version. Ready, Steady, Go, all the things she said. Revenge is good. Youth, Youth, Youth. I mean, there's just lots and lots of really good tracks. And you can tell this is an 80s issue because, I mean, look at the graphics. That's so 80s. Mid-80s. So not punk. Right. And there's the B-side. I think it's just a plain sleeve on this one. Yes, it is. I'm not even going to get the label out because it's really boring. So there we go. Generation X. Really underrated band, I think. Although I've never heard any of their albums, so maybe a Greatest Hits is the best sort of thing to have in this case. Who knows? I'll have to listen to some. Right, one of my favourite artists. I don't know why I got this, actually. Maybe I got it cheap or something, because I had most of the albums anyway. But one of the best artists from the sort of 1980s was Gary Numan. And this is Exhibition, which is a compilation from 78 to 83. I know I was a Gary Numan nut, but there is no reason for me to have owned this, because I had all apart from Dance and Berserker, I think I have all the early Gary Numan albums. Up to 85, I think I've got. But so when I'm looking for those two. So when I do, I'm going to do a Gary Numan video, talking about all of his albums. But this actually, what makes the change, this is chronologically ordered, this one. Most of these other compilations are sort of mixed up all over the place. But this is, from the looks of it, more or... Oh, is it? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I think each side runs through chronologically, but so you get 4 different versions of his history. But when you got stuff, I mean, even the more, the less well-known stuff, you got That's Too Bad from Tubeway Army. You've got music from the Chameleons from I Assassin. We're Glass from Telecon. Bombers from Tubeway Army. Sister Surprise is from Warriors. You've got Our Friends Electric. I Dream of Wires, which is from... Oh, I've forgotten. Can't remember where that one's from. Noise Noise, which is another album track. Warriors. Every Day I Die, live version, which maybe I got it because it's got a few live versions on it. We Take Mystery to Bed is a great single from I Assassin. Metal from Complex. I Die You Die. This Wreckage, My Shadow in Vain, Down in the Park. So it's a real good mix of singles and album tracks, which is not always true of all compilations. A lot of them just concentrate on the singles, and they don't always give a true picture of an artist. But this one, it mixes in quite a lot of decent album tracks. So if you pick this one up, and you don't know Numan, you get a really good overview of his stuff. not the most inspiring sleeve, really. Pretty uninspiring picture of him there in a car. But the music more than makes up for that. So brilliant. And then just to round off, another compilation album I don't really know why I got. Because I bought all their singles from, I got a virtually complete run of singles, 7-inch singles by this band. I think there's only a couple, there's 2 or 3 of the earliest ones I don't have. But I definitely got a lot of them. And I've got most of the tracks on this, on other things. But I suppose I got it because it's kind of nice to have them all together on vinyl. But this is The World Won't Listen by the Smiths. I think I picked this up in a sale somewhere, which is why I got it. It's a compilation of singles, A's and B sides. But crucially, it was released before Sheila Takes a Bow was put out, so that's been knocked off, which is annoying, really. I mean, I've got the 7-inch anyway, but it's not on here. It should be on here. So you've got things like Panic, Ask, which were both non-album singles. You've got other hits like Big Mouth Strikes Again and Boy with a Thorn in His Side. Shakespeare's Sister was a non-album single. You've got things that are apparently near singles, like There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Shoplifters of the World was another non-album single. B-sides like London, which is brilliant. If you ever get a chance to hear Anthrax doing London, I tell you, that is great. It's one of the best covers I've ever heard. They just absolutely belt it out. It's brilliant. I think it's on a CD single, and I can't remember which one it's on now, but I've got that somewhere. But also B-sides like Asleep, Stretch Out and Wait. The most underrated Smith single ever, which didn't even reach, I think it reached number 48, was That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore. Things like Oscillate Wildly, You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby, was nearly a single. Rubber Ring. So, of course, it's a Smith, so it's not completely useless. Well, what I put down for a Smiths album? This is absolutely essential, just maybe not quite as essential as the main run of studio albums, and maybe sort of outclassed by Louder Than Bombs, which was the American compilation put together by Rough Trade before they lost the rights to it or sold the rights to everything. And total Morrissey title, The World Won't Listen, because I think he was frustrated that people just weren't listening. We were Morrissey, we were! Anyway, so there we go. 10 comps. Love them all. So, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to get a cup of tea because my voice is just about packing up after the excitement of an earlier VCLT. So I'll see you all again soon. I will do another vinyl watch very soon because I'm running out of space. This is ridiculous. So, take care and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers, VC. Bye.